everybody? It's your boy Pitts. Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live. Listen, it's going down all things HBCUs. And who else better to start it off with them Bowie State Bulldogs? We coming to you, Bowie State Bulldogs, total access. We got the Morgan State Bears. Listen, all HBCUs information, all HBCU news, sporting events, updates. You get it live here with Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Comcast Channel 77, Verizon Channel 11 is going down. Don't you miss a beat.
Listen, it's only the beginning because it's early still.
And
we're gonna be here all day.
All day.
Welcome. Listen, it is part 3. Y'all know what it is. I'm your host, Terrence Pitts, Pitt Sports Zone, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Bowie TV, coming to you live with part 3 of Women in Sports, the Morgan State edition. We have 2 other young ladies from Morgan State. We have Ann and we have Kaya. How you doing today, ladies?
We're good. How are you? How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see you guys. I missed you all the last 2 games of the football season. You know, I couldn't make it, but I know I'll see y'all for spring football, which will be here soon as we blink.
Yep.
If you can, let's go ahead and break them down with some icebreakers, right? And Ann, you're going to go first. Yes, you get to go first. What is your favorite food?
Ooh, I'm very picky. So I would say I love a real good salad, like a good Caesar salad. I love a good salad.
Okay. Kai?
My favorite food, I love me some seafood, so I'm gonna have to say some shrimp.
Okay. Some shrimp. Fried, does it matter if it's fried, chip?
Boil and a boil.
Oh, so you want to boil.
Yeah.
What is a favorite destination or a dream destination that you would like to travel to? Kai, you can go first on this one.
I've been really wanting to go to Europe. I don't know. I just to see like I love me some pasta. So maybe I don't know, like Italy or something. So maybe yeah.
Okay, and
I don't know where my dream destination would be, but I went to Key West a couple years ago, and I actually really loved it there. Everything's in walking distance. It's so nice, and they have a little festival every night. So I would go back there if I could.
Okay, and do you have a favorite NFL team? If so, who is it?
Okay, no, because I am a Browns fan. Cleveland, everything. Okay, we're 1-1, Mr. Pittsburgh. We're 1-1.
Mm-hmm. So you are. That's what we're gonna do.
We're 1-1.
Okay.
I know we played bad last week.
Okay.
The other time, you guys can't even say it's the weather because we get the same amount of snow for real.
Ooh, she came ready with it. She said, okay, no hate, no judgment, but relax.
No, I got it in my car. I have 2 sweatshirts.
She know not to wear it around the boys though.
Yeah. But I can talk to them because we beat the Ravens too. So
dang, she said, relax, Mr. Pittsburgh. We're 1-1. We're 1-1. You right, my bad. I stand corrected. I'm in my place. We are 1-1. You did beat us in a snow-filled game that, yes, both teams are used to. Correct. No hate there. I ain't got no love lost for the Browns. You know, it's like that little brother that, you got to take to the park every time you go outside. It's okay. Kai?
I don't really have a favorite team, but I guess the Ravens.
No, you don't have to guess. You don't have to settle for less. You don't have to do that. Right, Ann? She ain't got to settle for less.
Yeah, you could have picked the New York team.
Right. Oh my goodness. You know what? Now she went from bad to worse.
Yeah. No.
But you really want to be a Ravens fan?
I mean, I like Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
I like Baltimore, so I guess it would be the Ravens.
I'll take that. If you can share a little bit about yourselves, your classification and your major, And you go first.
I'm a sophomore. I'm a business administration major.
I am a junior and I am a nutritional science major.
Mm. What made you ladies want to be? What made you ladies want to participate in sports, women in sports? What driven you to
Um, I'm from Ohio, so I didn't really know anybody coming in here. So
that?
when I
Mm.
saw like this was an option, I was like, why not? It's a fun way to meet people. And then as I went on, I realized that like I really developed a relationship with the other girls and like with the team and the coaches as well. And then it's also like as women, we're trying to make a change. So you really have to keep pushing to see change happen.
Yeah.
Me personally, I lost my dad my freshman year of college, so I,
Oh wow.
I was lost. Like it was nothing like really to do. I didn't feel like I had a purpose, and like I wasn't really into like college life. Like I would go to parties and stuff, but like I feel like I wanted to do more. So when I saw the opportunity, I was like, this is something to do, and like within a short period of time, I grew to love it and love the boys and love what I was doing, and like the girls were so welcoming and we all had like similar experience, so it was really like it was like a family.
I'm sorry for your loss, Kai. I deeply pray for you and your family.
Yeah.
When it comes to women in sports, what are some of the challenges that you feel you ladies face? Kai, you go first.
um so we do equipment specifically, so a lot of the times, like when we go to these bigger schools, you see a lot of like men doing the heavy lifting, like on the field, catching the balls, and then you look at us and they're like, nah, she's not gonna catch it. But like it's fun to like when you look at me, like you see me walking around campus, you wouldn't think, I'd be picking up these 150-pound pop-ups and like catching these field goals. So it's like a challenge that we face is like people underestimating what we can do based on the fact that we're women. So it's really cool to like get on the field and do all these things and show people, yeah, we could do this too.
Absolutely.
I completely agree with everything she just said. It's also like no like this towards the boys, but like sometimes they'll be like, oh, I need this fixed, but then they'll completely like brush past us and like go to our higher ups because they think that we can't do it, but they don't really see us like post practice and like the late nights we spend there learning how to do this so that they can come to us. And it's nice for them to like when they like go ask somebody else to do it and then somebody comes with the same issue and we sit right there and fix it, they're like, oh, I didn't know you could do it, but like you didn't give me a chance. Like if you ask me, I will kindly be like, yeah, I can't, or no, I'm sorry, I don't know how. But it's nice to like be able to prove them wrong and be like, well, like just because we're women doesn't mean we can't do what you need to be done.
Absolutely. And do you find that oftentimes that is something that you said, something that I asked the young ladies on the other show, is that do you find that in certain positions in the workforce that appear to be male dominated, that there is an expectation that it is a male driven role. I think that the misconception is that women can't do it, or women, or you don't expect a woman to do it, right? So when you talk about a lot of the things, and Kyle, you bring up great points, right? Because I totally omitted that from my memory scan of a plethora of different things that you ladies do, right? Because you ladies do an absolute lot. And I've shared that on the last two shows. And when you talk about when you look on the other field, you're correct. You do see the women, I mean the men, throwing the catches, passes back and forth, etc. But it shows that not only are the women capable, but they may slightly be better at it because I'm telling you, when I see y'all throw the football on it, I'm waiting for Morgan State to have a flag football team because I expect to see all of y'all on it.
Yeah, be running the routes with the boys and everything.
Right. So, do you feel that sometimes that the expectation is that because you're a woman that, like you said, and you don't know it, versus asking first, but the assumption being that she ain't gonna know what I need her to do.
Yeah, and I think like what also makes it hard is like they try and mansplain a lot.
Mm,
And it's like I under like some things about football, like, okay, I might need you to explain it to me a little differently. But like when it comes to the behind the scenes, it's like we've spent enough time here for you to just trust us. Like that's all we really need is like everybody to trust us and think that like, okay, yes, they're women, but like they can do this just as well as a man could.
absolutely. And Kaya, didn't know if you wanted to add to it.
No, I agree with everything she said.
What are some of the things that you would like to see change when it pertains to women in sports, as far as the narrative, and how can we affect that change? What are some ways or some things that we can do?
I feel like in the NFL, I don't see a lot of women doing like equipment. I see them like more doing like sports medicine or like operations, but I want to see like more women in the NFL working equipment because I know it's like not ideal, but when I get a helmet, like even down to like decaling it, I just love it so much. So
Mm,
like to think that it's a chance that just because I'm a woman and like it's between me and a man up for a job in the NFL, like the to think that just because he's a man, he has more likelihood to get the job, it kind of pains me because I really worked hard. And although this is my second season, I could see myself like pursuing this after college.
absolutely. And
As far as the narrative, I wish people would just like completely restart.
Mhm.
I wish they would like not be like, oh, she's a woman, she can't lift 150 pounds, right? Or like, oh, she's only doing this for the attention, or because like I came to meet people, not like for any, like not for other reasons, but then I
right,
ended up falling in love with the sport and like all the girls I was with. So I just wish people would like clear their mind, like take a step back and be like, okay, why is she really doing this? She must really love this sport, or maybe she wants to pursue this but in another sport, or get closer to like other dreams and goals.
where do you what are so Kai, you kind of alluded to it, right, when you talk about the representation for
Mhm.
women in sports, and more so and not the technical side that you would like to see. um do you think over the years, because now you have you have Miss King. She was with the Commanders. I believe she's with the Raiders now. You do have a the Raiders, um not the owner, but um the general manager is an African American woman, right? So you see some women coaches being hired in NBA or whatnot. And I used to always think, are we doing this because the qualification, or because I don't want it to be done as a, all right, look, see, we fulfilled it, so people can stop talking about it. But I think the more and more you feel it, like, Becky Harmon, right? With the San Antonio Spurs. And when you see women in these positions and that you see they can do it, I think it should widen the spread as the qualifications open and say, hey, listen, regardless of gender, let's just go based off qualification. If you take the gender part out of the hiring process, do you believe that it would then be able to open up the floodgates to where now you're not hiring based on gender, you're hiring based off qualification, and women may be able to get a better um, chance to fulfill those dreams in those spots?
Yeah, I think if they eliminated gender, it would definitely you would definitely see a lot more women. Because I feel like some women, they also do tend to back down from certain things because of the gender. So they'll be like, well, there's only men CEOs of these teams, so like what are the chances I'm really going to get that job, you know? So if
Mhm.
like gender was completely eliminated, you would see more women going for it, which would like cause more people to hire women.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree
Kai.
with that too. And I think also our race plays like a huge role in it as well.
Yeah.
Because not only are we women, but we're also black women.
Yes.
So I feel like if we did eliminate it, we would see a lot more people, like a lot more African American women.
And I was going to ask you that too, as it pertains to not just women in general, but African American women. And I'm glad that you highlighted that point, to state that as well, because that is one of the things that I did want to start to allude to, not to exclude one from another, but when it comes to, our particular interest in HBCUs and the growth and development of HBCUs, those opportunities for African American women. So yeah, before both of you attended Morgan State, well, before I get to that question, we can end on that one, right? What does it mean to you to see an African American woman in charge of the athletic department at your university, at Morgan State University, with Dina Freeman Patton?
Yeah, we love Miss Dina. She definitely shows us like what we could be, right? Because we're still growing up, we're still learning a lot, and she's running a powerhouse. Like she's very on top of her stuff. So we really appreciate like seeing her and her coming to speak to us and all that. I think she's just it's very empowering. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's always moving. Like she just shows us like where we can be in the next 10 years if we like really like stick to it. And then to even be working at a HBCU, it's just really empowering, and it's like very interesting because when I first came here, I would expect a man, and I know that sounds bad to say, but when I first saw her, I'm like she's the one that calls all the shots around here, so it's like really empowering to see.
And and that mindset is one that I feel that should be eliminated,
Yeah,
regardless of where you go. Position doesn't require it. I don't feel that certain positions should have a man or woman only stamp on it, right? It should be universal. And the job that she has done at Morgan State, and the athletic department has been admirable. Um, what does it mean to both of you to attend? Well, before I ask that question, before attending Morgan State, are you both of you from the area? Well, I know, and you said you're from Three Rivers. You're from the other side of the river. Okay, so you're from the Cleveland area. What about you, Kai?
I'm from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so that gives context to why Ann said you could choose one of them New York teams.
Yep.
Oh, so we come full circle. Now I see why she told you to
Yep.
choose one of them. I got it. So yes, don't listen to Ann. I would rather pick the Ravens too. Don't waste your time on the Jets or the Giants.
Yep. No, I gave up on them a long time ago. I haven't watched the Giants since Victor Cruz.
Oh wow. So you was out there
Yeah.
before coming to Morgan State. Were both of you aware and did you have knowledge of what an HBCU was?
I had very little knowledge. I didn't really get into that stuff until about I want to say the summer before my junior year, which is when I started the college search. I did go to a predominantly white high school, and I knew like, well, I went to the same school all my life. So like, the older I got, the more I realized like I don't want to do this for another 4 years post high school. So I was like, maybe I should do more research and look in the other schools for people like me because it is still very diverse here. So it's nice for me to like be with people who have probably gone through the same thing as me, but also meet other people on side of like on the other side of that. Like you get to understand like the like language barriers people have and like all that kind of stuff. So it is really nice.
Okay. Kai?
I always knew that I wanted to go to a HBCU, but when I actually came and visited Morgan, it was like the environment was just different. And like just like the energy, they were so welcoming. So like I didn't know specifically what HBCU, but Morgan was one of my top options once I came and visited because it was just I also went to a predominantly white high school, so like seeing like all of these cultures come together and it be so welcoming because a lot of times in high school I had to question like I'm not gonna lie, they were a bit racist over there. So like just coming to Morgan and seeing how, we can have like these hard conversations. It was really empowering for me.
Being you being from Cleveland and me being from on the other side of the river in Pittsburgh, and um, it's one of the challenges that I keep finding so struggling so because we don't have that many HBCUs in the north, right? We don't have that many HBCUs. There is no mention, there is no education on them, there is no one advocating for them to us. And like you, I was always told, when I wanted to go to school, I can do Pitt, Penn State, Robert Morris, Duquesne, a lot of those schools, but I never knew what an HBCU is or was or, the existence of. I've always knew of the Walter Paytons and the Jerry Rices, and I always heard about the universities they went to, but I never put the two and two together to say, oh, that's what they were referring to. What is it that you think that will need to be done in order to get that get the highlights and the education and the knowledge and the information pertaining to HBCUs more so up north?
I think that starts with us, like once we go, obviously, like I'm not from here, so once I go home, like I feel like I could start advocating more. Last year I did go back to my high school and I talked to a couple of my classes about it, so I did start there. But I think like that's something that it takes a lot of people to do. So like little by little we could do it by ourselves, but it's going to take a while. So if you
Yeah,
like I have younger siblings too, and they're all athletes. So I told my brother, like, you could go to an HBCU and still be really good at basketball and be really good at football, but he's also big on lacrosse. So like not all HBCUs have that. So he would have
right,
to really like factor in what sport he truly wants to play. But
right.
I try to educate him and my younger sister about that kind of stuff. And then my friend, she goes to Cincinnati. So we like her and I've had conversations about it, and I just think like we just have to be better with spreading the word with that kind of stuff. And like even with like I said, I went back to my school, like you could talk to your old teachers and be like, well, I go in HBCU and it's a really great experience that like some other students might want to take up the chance to go. So
Absolutely. I would like to see more college tours up north to HBCUs.
yeah.
And I think if that can be instructed and guided, I think it would help enlighten more because when you think of there are 100, I believe, 27 HBCUs. A lot of them are on, is the South, from your Floridas to your Georgias to your Alabamas to your Arkansas to your North Carolina has a plethora, right? And then I think Lincoln is as far as it goes when it gets to Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
And
we
then I
have Ohio, but it's very like it's central state, but like you can't like rely on one like college to represent all of them because they're not all going to feel the
absolutely,
same once you step on campus.
absolutely. What has the culture been like for you, Kai, since you stepped foot on Morgan State?
It's always something to do. Like it's always like something like empowering. Like you can always count on something to be going on campus. Like you just really have to be open to these things. Like you have to be open to going to these events. You have to be open to going to, that basketball game. Like it's not even like I can't even describe it, like that feeling. Like before coming to college, I never really watched football. So like going to my first college game, it was just like even though we lost, like the energy was so unreal. Like the band, you see like kids jumping, the cheerleaders. It was just like a whole different world that I've like never experienced before.
What about you, Aaron, when it pertains to the culture within the HBCU?
Yeah, I agree with that. You do have to be very open to all of those things and meeting new people. Like we meet new people every day. It's definitely like sometimes you're like, yeah, I really don't want to talk to these people, but it's just something you have to do. Um, I would also like obviously work together all day long, but then sometimes you do have to branch out and just be like, okay, well, I heard about this new club. Why don't I go see what's going on? Um,
Right.
I agree with the energy at all the games. Like being on the sideline for football is definitely way better than being in the stands. I will say that. But then when we're in the stands for basketball, it's like we bring our own energy. So it's like something different that we could bring. So it's not always gonna feel the same.
Yeah.
But like when you're when you find the right people, it's usually pretty uplifting and like the energy is always good.
Again, I just thank you, ladies. I enjoy it. It's a highlight for me every Wednesday that I'm able to get up there for the practice, even though Wednesday is the only day I can get there. But I enjoy it. I look forward to that ride. It'd be fun, no matter the weather conditions. And it shows your investment. So thank you very much. Thank you for all that you do for Morgan State. Thank you for all that you do and the highlight and the representation that you ladies have on HBCUs, women in sports specifically, sorry. And also just thank you for always, being there. I appreciate that. I can assure you the coaches appreciate it, as do the players. So thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of our show. It's not going to be the end of the conversation. We're definitely going to take this to a broader scale. I'm looking to try to pitch a women's sports panel that maybe we can have at Morgan State because I think that the conversation should be highlighted and I think it should continue to grow. And I think we definitely need to evolve our mental thought processes when it pertains to women in sports. So thank you, and thank you, Kai, for joining me. I'm your host, Terrence Pitts, Pitt Sports Zone, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Bowie TV. Listen, enjoy the rest of your rainy Wednesday. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the office semester. And can't wait to see you ladies in the spring.